The first Descendant's a really fun experience that upset quite a few people when it initially released because they dared to highlight attractive female characters in this game, and while Nexon recently announced their plan to add jiggle physics, it has prompted outrage from critics saying things like gamers are the most pathetic incel losers there are. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, obviously, it's no shocker to hear that there are people on social media who are very triggered over the fact that these developers are daring to add jiggle physics to their game, a feature that the majority of players have asked for. And sure, it's fine to question how they're going to implement this, if it's going to be a toggle, if it's going to be a slider, if it's going to just be across the board, but instead of actually asking questions, these people are freaking out, attacking gamers, saying that we are the most pathetic incel losers simply for praising these developers' decisions. So this is a Bounding into Comics article. It says the first Descendant announces plans to add jiggle physics, prompting outrage. A little over 2 weeks after delivering on fan requests to add a tail-free options to the game's Twisted Warship skin, the Korean developer Nexon has yet again answered one of their player base's most regular demands and announced that proper jiggle physics will soon be added to their sci-fi looter shooter, which I think is great. Obviously, the more options, the better for players, and I do think that, yeah, I mean, this is going to be well received across the board. And sure, you cannot please everyone, so there are bound to be a couple of people who are very sad over this, very heartbroken that the developers would dare objectify a fictional female character even though they're already objects because they're fictional. But Nexon never shied away from risque designs for the first Descendants female characters, with its art direction from the very start having leaned into the concept of sex appeal, which I definitely do not think is a bad thing. Sexy sells, and as a woman, I feel significantly more empowered seeing strong, attractive female characters in games versus seeing Crimson Chins, that's for certain, but they know how to market games. They know how to sell products, and every single time they have released a new update or a new character, they've marketed these things with these very sexy outfits and character models, and it's certainly got a lot of attention on social media. And is this a perfect game? No, because it is monetized pretty poorly, but I think that the content that is there is actually really fantastic. So of course, one of the developers had posted in their Discord server that they are going to be adding this, and after a lengthy discussion, a decision was made to add the much requested jiggle physics. This was decided only a short while ago, so the details of when and how it will be implemented in the game are yet to be finalized. And now, of course, this has really infuriated some people. While this news was met with applause from actual First Descendant players, the usual crowd of social media critics were quick to condemn the decision, with many, unsurprisingly, accusing the move of being nothing more than sexist incel bait. So there's this individual who said sexy female characters shouldn't have aspects specifically just so they're sexy or for fan service. Sexualizing women is never okay. This isn't a woke claim. It is a fact. Sexualizing women, especially fictional ones in video games, are perfectly fine. And there are women out there who feel significantly more empowered from being sexualized. That is just a fact of the matter. And are you really going to sit here and are you going to demean these women? Because that's pretty disgusting. Just saying. But these people cannot accept the fact that video games are filled to the brim with unrealistic situations, with unrealistic characters, and breasts naturally jiggle. Butts naturally jiggle. Thighs, they naturally jiggle. So these are things that are actually being made more realistic now that they're adding this feature. You'd think that these people would be happy about that, but no, because it doesn't fit their narrative. It's always the shitty games that need bouncing tits to be relevant. How about they focus on making an actual good game, not garbage with tits? This game is actually very fun, and there is a reason why there were hundreds of thousands of players playing it on Steam, and it's really fun. The only criticism I truly have again is the monetization system because it makes you grind for an insane amount of hours in the title or to swipe your credit card for a rather high price tag. This is a problem with a lot of Korean games though, but right now we are seeing a lot of Korean games kind of dominate the gaming scene. There are a lot of Korean devs who have said that they have seen a boom in business because gamers are looking away from the West, where we have characters like Tosh, for example. We have masculinized Lara Crofts, and when we can play something like the first Descendant, Black Desert Online, Stellar Blade, and we can get a significantly better experience, we're going to. And then you get into Korean games that do not even feature sexy female characters. Like Lies of P was a fantastic experience last year. They of course, are going on though saying Incel's version of Destiny. And sure, it is similar to Destiny, but does that mean that we have to call every single game that comes out with a sexy character the cheap knockoff of another? No, that's an absolute absurd claim to make. This is not shocking, again, but it's disappointing because these individuals do not see the bigger picture. And that is that there needs to be all sorts of content out there. Maybe you do not like seeing women in low-cut tops and, short skirts where you can have panty shots in video games. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to play games like this, but they should still exist because if we do not have games that feature sexy female characters and just attractive characters in totality, because there are male characters in this game that look very good, then everything is going to start feeling samey. Everything's going to feel too similar to another game. Developers are not going to continue to take risks because they know that they're going to get attacked for it. And I say that a lot when it comes to censorship. If you start censoring games and watering down the content that you are giving people, everything is going to be too nice. Nothing is going to be dark or gritty, and we are going to lose out on the art of storytelling. Sometimes you have to take risks, even if you know that some people are not going to like those decisions that you're making. And that's what we're seeing with the first Descendant. And I do think that that deserves to be praised. And by the way, season 2 comes out soon and it looks really, really good. I think that they are doing something good with this game, even sexy women aside. And if you actually go to the season 2 official trailer, it's being massively positively ratioed. It's got 8.8k likes to only 155 dislikes. So you can tell that the majority of players are, still loving the game. They're still excited to see the new content that's supposed to be releasing. And ultimately, the developers of this game have made a good decision with the new enhanced jiggle physics, even though a few people online are triggered by it. So I will be keeping my eye on this situation, and when the jiggle physics are added, I'm sure we're going to see even more outrage. I probably will stream the game again when that finally happens, but for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.